Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Modded Minecraft. Okay, so today I've got a lot of little things that I want to get done, but the main thing is to set up the Induction Matrix, which, if you haven't heard of it before, it's basically a huge battery. So instead of using these energy cubes, we're going to set up a multi-block structure that it can hold an absolute ton of power. To do that, we need to carry on with something that we did last time. And before I get on that, just point out that this room is looking much tidy now. I don't know if you remember, but last time there was just cables everywhere. We had these pipes going from this one over here, and all of these things were just going right up and down in the middle. It was crazy. So I'll spend a little bit of time tidying things up, moving things out of the way so we can just run through and don't have to climb over anything. The first thing we need to do is sort out our lithium production. And last time I pretty much did it because I didn't know if I needed two of these thermal evaporation plants to power our 4x ore processing, because we need the brine in here to create our chlorine for this crazy setup, but it turns out I do actually only need the one. So what I did, I emptied out all of the brine from this one, and then I reversed the direction of the pipe so it was actually pulling brine from this into here. So instead of pumping water in, we're now pumping brine into it, and this takes the brine and turns it into liquid lithium. So we're actually pretty much there with our lithium production. So what we do with this is we put it into a rotary condensator, and that gives us lithium from the liquid lithium. And then with this, we put it into a chemical crystallizer and turn it into lithium dust. So this is the thing that we need to do first. So let's go craft those two machines and we'll get on with it. Okay, so the first one was a rotary condensator. This one should be fairly easy. There's just a few little sub-crafts that we need to do first. So we've got our basic chemical tank, basic fluid tank, and then an energy tablet. That shouldn't be a problem. And then rotary condensator. Right, that's the first one. The next one was the chemical something. Chemical, not that one. Chemical crystallizer. That was it. This looks a lot more expensive, but we should still be alright. So we've got a steel casing. Let's get a few of those because we're going to need them. The chemical crystallizer, so we need 2 ultimate control circuits. That should be alright as well. Oh, we just had enough of that. And finally, chemical crystallizer. Right, okay, so we're going to need somewhere to store the lithium as well. So what I think I want to do is grab a drawer. We'll put that down there, and then we can have a external storage bus on there. Sorry, external storage. This isn't applied logistics, is it? And finally, we just need some pipes so we can actually extract the liquid lithium. So what we got? Basic. Should we go with basic? Let's try that. And I don't know if we need any upgrades, but we'll add that in eventually if we need it. So right. So I've added a power cable in already, and that just runs from over here. So this is like the main energy cube at the moment. So it just everything runs from there, it just goes under here, and then across to wherever we need it. So here, first we want a rotary condensator, and this probably has a direction that I need to figure out. But let's try running this pipe into it, see what happens. That seemed to work. Okay, so now if we just do that, right, that's getting it. That's no, is it? Oh, actually, do we need to toggle it? Yeah, that's right. So the liquid will come into this side, and that should turn into lithium. Right, okay. So now I want this to output to the chemical crystallizer. So if we put that there, right, there's no lithium going there, right? So if we go to side config and eject to on. Oh, I'm on items here. That's why it's not working. Right. Eject is on for that. Output. Right. Should we go that? Is that? No. Right. Front. So I've changed that to front, and now this one seems to be kicking in. Yeah, so we've got lithium in here now. So that's converting. It's going straight into there. And look, there we have our first lithium dust. So that's works brilliantly. Now, I also want to output this to a drawer. So hopefully this will work, because sometimes it doesn't with these drawers for some reason in this version, but just change that to, yeah, oh, that's brilliant, that works great. So now all we need to do is put an external storage, and I know that this is actually outside, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go underneath, and hopefully I can run one of these cables over there. So let's go into hover mode with our jetpack, and then yeah, actually yeah, we can run it straight from there, can't we? Okay, so let's put that external storage on the back of there. We'll set the priority up a bit, and if we just come down one more, so we can put that block back, go like that, and then straight across here. No, not like that. Alright, maybe down a little bit. Could have just come from that. What? Anyway. Right. that should be working now. So if we go check our refined storage system, we should be able to see that lithium coming into there now. Right, let's have a look. Have we got any lithium? We have. That's working, and that's going up. That's brilliant. So I'm not actually going to put any upgrades in there yet, because I think this is a fairly decent rate. Because if we look at the uses for this, the only actual uses this has is for the components we need for the induction matrix. You can go really crazy huge with these things, so at some point we may need a lot more, but for what I'm doing today, 8 is in fact enough, and I've already got more than that. So I'm going to leave those machines as they are for now, and then we can actually get on with crafting it. And I apologise if this is a bit confusing so far, but bear with me, it is going to make sense very soon, hopefully. Okay, so for the induction matrix, what we need is an induction cell and an induction provider. So we may need to set up recipes for these, because they do look a bit crazy, and I think I do have recipes for these anyway. So yeah, let's do the auto crafting for this. So let's go induction matrix, sorry, induction cell. Have one for that, and then the induction provider, and then we also need the induction casing, which again uses the energy tablets, which are a bit of a pain to craft manually. And then from those we also need the induction port, and I know we definitely need to get some more of those. So let's do that, and then we can just put these into our crafter manager if I can find it. So let's just shift these in. Okay, right, I think we should be ready to start crafting these now. So let's go induction provider. We just need one of those. Look at all this. Yeah, I'm so glad I don't have to do this manually. We'll then need an induction cell. Again, just one of these. And the induction casing, I believe I need 32 of these. So let's go for 40, just in case, because I do need a few of them to craft the ports as well. Oh, I need some more alloy. Oh my god. Right, this is actually one of the things I want to set up today, the automation of this. But for now, let's just grab some redstone and some iron, and we'll go do it the manual way, hopefully for the last time. Actually, no, I don't need the redstone, do I? Let's put those in there. Grab a few, and let's try that again. So, yeah, right, so that's enough now. Okay, so we now have 40 induction casings, and I need 2 of these. So, I think it's a 2 craft anyway. Oh my god. Right, couple more, and 2 induction ports. Why are you not there? Oh, I didn't put them in. That's why. Okay, so start that, and then that should be everything we need. Okay, so let's grab all of that. Did we get everything? Yep. Right, okay, let's get down. Actually, no, let's get some power cables first. What are they called? Universal. No, they're not. Right, so we need some universal cables. So I can't believe I haven't got recipes for these. What's that about? Right, let's set that up. Can't have that. Okay, so we now have all the recipes for the universal cables as well. I'm really surprised I didn't do those. At least we have those in there now. Right, universal cable. I'm pretty sure I don't have everything I need for these. Oh no, I do. I do have the alloys. Right, great. Okay. Oh, it's the control circuits are on off. Right. Okay, we've got everything now. Let's go do it. Okay, so we're back down at where our power storage is at the moment, and I think what I'm actually going to do is keep it in the same place. It's not absolutely ideal, but as we're building the smallest version of this thing, I think we should be okay. So the first thing I need to do is actually get rid of all of these energy cubes. So energy cubes can hold a lot of power, but the problem is with them, they can't actually transfer a massive amount. And once we get into some of the crazier things that we're going to do with Mekanism, we really need to transfer a lot of power all in one go. So these things aren't going to do it. So we definitely need to improve the cables as well. And I've already done that around here. I've added the purple ones in here. So this is the one that we're going to use to transfer the power from our main gas burning generator into this induction matrix. Now, the more I look at this, the more I doubt I should put it here, but you know what, I'm going to do it anyway. So let's have a go. Can I go this way? Yeah. Yes, actually, let's do this. This makes a lot more sense. Right, and this is the perfect shape as well, because the smallest size that we can do this in is a 3x4x3. So a 3x4 on the floor and then 3 tall. So just in this bit here, this should work perfectly. Induction casings. So these will go on the bottom, just like this. Now I need to think about where the port's going to go as well. We need 2 ports. So one of them is for where the power will be going in. So we'll put that one there. And then one is where the power is going out. And then in the middle, we also need the 2 main blocks. So we have an induction provider and an induction cell. And the cell is what holds the power. The provider is the thing that controls how fast it can output. So as this is a multi-block structure, if we made this a lot bigger, we can put as many of these things as we want into here. So if we really want to focus on really fast rates, we'd put more providers in, or if we want just loads and loads of power storage, we put more of the cells in. And these can obviously be upgraded, because at the moment we've got the lower tier, but then we can use these, and these go all the way up to the purple one. But as you can see, these are really expensive, not just because of the control circuits, but also you need the highest level energy cube, and you also need 4 of the previous craft as well, which again needs 4 of the previous one, and so on. So yeah, these can get really crazy, and without auto crafting, there's absolutely no way I'd go up to the next ones, but we will get to that at some point. But for now, let's just get this one built. So we'll put these in here, and it doesn't matter which way around it goes. And then we'll just fill in the rest of the blocks with these induction casings. So if I just fill this in, we should see it form into the multi-block structure. So like that. So you saw the red particles there. That means we've done it right. So in here, that port, we actually need to configure these. So I think by default they're on input. So I'll go on to the other one. That's not what I wanted to do. Thank you. Let's turn this to configure it energy. Is that it? So that's turn that to output now. So that's exactly what I wanted. So now this needs to go on there. And this is going to cause me another problem in a minute, but I'll explain that. So let's go down a little bit. So we're not walking on this all the time. Just like that. Right. So now that should be getting power. So yeah, you can see the power is going into there now. And this thing can fill up an energy cube in next to no time at all, but it's absolutely nowhere near. We can't even see yet the amount of power that's gone in. So that's 40 million FE that's gone in there so far, but this can take 3.2 giga FE. So yeah, this is going to take an absolute age to fill up. But the problem that this is going to cause me is that I'm going to run out of this, because normally this backs up very quickly even when it's filling up the 3 energy cubes I had. But now this is going to be running non-stop for a long time to fill this up. It's starting to register on here now, but this is going to take absolutely ages. So this is going to be doing its thing, which means I'm going to need to fill this up with a lot more. This should do quite a lot, but I'm going to need to keep harvesting my crops and filling this up. And we're going to need to automate this very soon. This is my only way of generating power at the moment. We will be getting into some of the other ways of generating power in Mekanism in not too distant future, but for now, we need to keep this chugging along. Okay, so if we just fill all this in, we can actually remember to connect this up to the output as well. So we don't need that one there. And then this is our main output. So if we just run, it's not going to look very pretty, this, but if we just run this one up here like this, and then we'll do this, let's do this on the ceiling. I need some more. Okay, so if we just do this like this, that will now output as well. This is outputting at its maximum level at the moment, and that's because we've added these new cables in, and all of these cables have a buffer. So as you can see there, those are filling up. This number has gone right down now, so that means that all of these cables are full. Right, so that is the first job done. I know it's not the prettiest thing in the world, but this is going to be great. Once we get into the higher power generation, we'll have somewhere to put it now, so that's great. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to do was actually solve my problem of running out of these infused alloys. So I'm just going to grab this, and I think I can do this now and they won't spill everywhere. Yeah, so it says content sealed within, so we're good there. I want to move this into the area that I've got down here for the automation setups. So I've got all my basics here, got my steel here, which is another thing I want to fix today. And then I also need somewhere to put these things. Right, anyway, let me explain this. We need to get back up there because we need a few things. I'm going to do this in 2 different ways. One way for the cheaper ones and one way for the more expensive ones. For these ones, I'm just going to set them running and they'll fill up the drawer. And once the drawer's full, then it'll just back up and stop doing anything until I take some more out. Which is absolutely fine because I get through loads of these things. So if we fill up 32 stacks of them, that's absolutely no problem. The other ones, which are a little bit more expensive, and that is because, which is these ones, it uses the base ones, which is alright, but then it actually uses infused diamond, and these ones use refined obsidian. But that is also very expensive on its own as well, because you need to put refined obsidian dust into a metallurgical infuser, again with enriched diamond. So diamonds are a big issue at the moment because I don't have an absolute ton. I've only got 300, which may sound like a lot if you're playing vanilla, but when you when you're using them for things like this in modded, you're going to get through this quite easily. So I do have a plan to up my diamond production, or start my diamond production I should say, but until then I need to come up with a way of actually producing these alloys in refined storage. So what I want to do is try and use auto crafting to request them when I want them, and it'll send them to an enrichment chamber to do the diamonds, and then also put them into the metallurgic infuser to get the actual alloys. So we'll do that in a minute, because the first thing I want to do is set up the ones for the basic ones, because that should be nice and easy. Okay, so that's my infusing factory, so I will grab that. That's what I'm going to use to produce the alloys, but then I also need to get an enrichment chamber, which is... oh no, actually, could I do it with this? No, I want to do it separately. I want to do this separately, so let's get another enrichment chamber. Let's get down there and try and get this set up. Okay, so we now have that first one set up for producing these alloys, and it is very, very simple. All we've got is the enrichment chamber, which has redstone exported into it. That turns it into the enriched redstone, and then that gets sent across into the advanced infusing factory. So all we need to do is set this to export iron. We already have an exporter for the redstone just here, and then we also have one for the iron, but this is actually turned off at the moment because I don't want the same problem that we had with the steel and this using up all of my iron. So what I'm going to do here is use a block called a detector, which I already have on me, but I also want another 2 of these as well. So let's just craft these up because it's a bit of a complicated recipe, as you can see. So I've set up a recipe for it. So let's grab these and we'll get this set up. Okay, so what we want to do is put this just here. And what this will do is activate a redstone signal based on a criteria that you put in here. So what we're going to do is say we want it to send a redstone signal when there are 5,000 iron in the system. And we also need to make sure that we put this emit signal when above the amount. So that's great. So now, because there's more than 5,000 iron in the refined storage system, it will start exporting it into here. So should put some speed upgrades in here as well. But for now, that is working. And then if we just check on our iron supply, it should be around that amount anyway. So what have we got? We've got 6,200. So that's all right. That'll keep going until we get down to 5,000, and then it will stop. And then once we put some more iron in, it'll do the exact same thing. So I've also just had the idea of doing this for the basic control circuits as well, because we're going to get through quite a lot of these, and it is a similar thing. So it's the exact same setup, but instead of exporting iron, we export osmium. So we can do this the same way. So we'll put that like that, and then we'll put osmium in there. We'll figure out what level we want to keep that at, and then we're going to put the enrichment chamber we've got here. We also have a metallurgic infuser that we can just put there, and then I do have the upgrades to put in there. So we'll go tier 1 and then tier 2 for the advanced tier, and then we'll turn that to auto sort, and then we need to make sure this one is outputting to the right and is auto eject on. So we need to put a couple more exporters on the back of there, which I do have here. So I just need to get rid of that cable like that. Put an exporter there and there, and then this one is just redstone. So that will do its thing, but I also need to make sure that's got some power as well, because there's no power in there at the moment. Okay, so I've got the universal cables, so just put these across here, and that will power those two. I can then set, that one is set to redstone, and then we're going to set this to osmium, but we also want to change this to redstone mode, and then we can, in this one, emit when above this amount, osmium in there, and we'll do 5,000. We do have a lot more osmium, and we don't use it for as much, but the same amount, that's fine. Also, just need to do the config of this one. Eject to the right, and then the back we want to put as input. Yep, so the osmium's going in there now, but we don't have any redstone yet. What's going on there? Right, that's going in the wrong one. That's probably why. Right, so I just need to change the config of this one as well. So the back is input. Right, yeah, so that's going in the right one now, and then that should be ejecting to the right. So this one probably doesn't have an input on the left. Yeah, it does. Oh, no, I need to change this one to yellow on the left, because that's the extra input, isn't it? Right, so that should start going in there now. Yeah, so that's going across into there now. It's really, really slow, but I don't think we're going to need any speed upgrades, because once this gets backed up, I won't need that much of it. So this one, we've already set that up, so yeah, that's it. That is it for both of those, which is a really cool little system, and we'll get plenty of these backing up. But now we need to do the more advanced versions of these, and we're going to do this mainly in refined storage, and the mechanism machines that we're going to be using are going to look really ugly. I've done my best to make a decent setup of this, but unfortunately, because of the cables only being able to go on one side of the machine, it's a bit of an ugly setup. So I'm going to figure out where I'm going to put this, And then we'll get that one sorted as well. Okay, so the next level alloy is the one that uses diamonds. So it takes the basic alloy that we are creating right now, these ones here, and it turns it into this one. So what we need to do, we don't want to be backing up this enriched diamond like we did with the enriched redstone, because that is going to get really, really expensive. So what I want to do is set up a processing pattern. So when I run out of these, I can just click on them, click craft, and then it'll know how to make everything that I need. So the first thing we need to do is teach it how to make the enriched diamond. And this is very simple. So if we just go into a new pattern, we're going to click on processing pattern, put 1 diamond in there, and that will give us 1 enriched diamond. So put that like that. And then we can put this into our, no, that one. Right, we don't have a crafter on an enriching factory, I don't think. Right, what I'm going to do is set up a new enriching factory over here. Okay, so I've changed my mind. And what I've actually done is set this up down here, because I am going to need a few of these, and I don't want to have too many automated things going on up in my main area. So this will be nice and tucked out of the way. So what we can do here now is put this in here. So this pattern teaches the system how to make the enriched diamond from diamonds. Unfortunately, I don't have any of the refined storage cable over here, so I need to get that wired up. But then once that's done, we'll be able to make this stuff automatically. Now what we need to do is take this and put it into a metallurgical infuser with the alloys and figure out how many it can make. I think it's 8, but we do need to test that. So let's go grab some of these alloys, and then we need to put this into a metallurgical infuser, which we're going to have to do upstairs. Yeah, we've got these here, haven't we? So this has got, hopefully we've got one. Yeah, so we've got one here, and this makes 80 millibuckets. So I think it's 10 for each one. It might be 20, so it might only make 4. So let's put that in there. Yeah, so it gives us 4. So each one of the enriched diamonds will give us 4 of the reinforced alloys. Now with that new knowledge, we can go make another pattern to put into the system. So if we go into our pattern grid, get rid of that, and then we'll put 4 in there, because that's how many it's going to make. And then we also need 4 of these and an enriched diamond as well. So if we grab that, put that in there, we can then say that is what we need to make 4 of these. So do that. And then that is that next pattern done. So using this isn't as easy as all the others. What we actually need to do is set up a chest with a crafter pointing at it, and then this pattern will send those items into that chest. We then take the items from the chest into a metallurgical infuser, and it gives us the 4 diamonds. We import them, and then that's it. So let's go get that set up, and this is the ugly bit I was talking about. So it's not going to be pretty, but I'll get it done, and I'll show you how it works. Okay, so I think I've got all of that working now. And as I said, it's not the prettiest thing in the world, but it definitely works. First up, these two are completely independent of each other. They're both controlled by the refined storage system. So this requests the enriched diamond, and then this one requests the alloys. So they don't have to be next to each other like this, but I just thought it made sense. Just for my own sanity, I know where to find things. Let's give this a test. What we need to do is go into our refined storage system and request one of the second tier alloys, which I've taken them all out of here. So you can see here, it says craft. So I just click on there and click start, and it says it needs 4 of these and 1 of these, which is exactly right. So if we click start, actually there's some more, there's already some enriched diamond in there. So let's run through the whole process. Let's take those out as well. So click start now, it says it needs to craft 1 of these and it's going to use 1 diamond. So that's brilliant. So if we click start, it should firstly do this, and it'll probably do it too quickly for me to catch it. So yeah, that's done. It then exports the other items into this chest, which then go into this metallurgical infuser. And it looks like that's already done, unless something's broken, but I think it was that fast we didn't see it. So if we look for the alloy in here, as you can see, we have 4. So that's brilliant. That is completely working. Now, the next part is to do the higher tier alloys, which these are a little bit more complicated because there's 2 more processes we need to do. We need to make the refined obsidian, which comes from refined obsidian dust, which also goes through a metallurgical infuser and uses the enriched diamond. So yeah, this is a bit more interesting. Okay, so back up here to the pattern grid, and we need to create a few more recipes. So the first one we need is obsidian dust. So if we just look for obsidian, hopefully we'll have some. And I know the obsidian turns into 4 dust. So can I click that? Yeah, I can. Right, so if we set that to 4. No, and I don't want that. 1. So 1 obsidian turns into 4 obsidian dust. Right, so we have our obsidian. I think this goes in a crusher. So if we put that in there, we should now be able to make obsidian dust. Right, so what we need to do with the obsidian dust is put that into a metallurgical infuser with diamond, just like we did with the alloys, and that will give us the refined obsidian dust. And then from there, this goes into an enrichment chamber to give us the enriched obsidian. And then with that, we put that into a metallurgical infuser with the second tier alloy to get the big one. So yeah, it's a bit of a process this, but if we just do it step by step, it's not actually that complicated. So we've got our obsidian dust. So the next recipe, let's actually get some of that because we're going to need it to make the recipe. Let's get a stack of that. So we need 16, yeah. So that should be going into the crusher now. Sorry, I put it in the wrong one, haven't I? That should be going into an enrichment chamber. So, right, okay. That doesn't make much sense to me. Right, okay, I need to set up another enrichment chamber down there. Okay, so if we put that there, we'll have another crafter like that, and then we can put that pattern in there. Right, and because I requested that recipe, and it couldn't do it in the crusher, it's remembered it, and now it's doing it. Yeah, so that's on there. So I also need an importer on the back of there, just like that. And then we make sure that the output is on the back and auto eject is on. Yeah, so that's going into the system, right? So we just need to put some upgrades in there, and then that will be that part sorted. Okay, so next up, we need to do another little test, just like we did with the alloys. So I'll get rid of those. I will put one enriched diamond in there, and we need to see how many obsidian dust this makes. And so it did 4 alloys, so I think this one is where it does 8. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8. So we got 8 out of that. So now we can use that in our patterns. 8 of these and 1 enriched diamond will make 8 of these. So let's go do that one. So I'll grab one of those. And then we also need the obsidian. Put that in there. That in there. And click that. We need 8. And then 8 in there. So yeah, so that's enriched diamond, obsidian dust will give us refined obsidian dust. So let's grab that. And then while we're here, we'll do the other one as well. So do we have any of the refined obsidian? No, we don't. Okay, so let's grab some refined obsidian. We just need to put that in an enrichment chamber. Stick that in there. Right, and then for our processing pattern, we need, so one of those comes from, where's my, oh, I used it all, didn't I? Okay, so now we have 1 refined obsidian dust, gives us 1 enriched obsidian. So that is our another pattern that we can put into the enrichment chamber. Okay, so I've got the next part of this setup. I've set up 2 more enrichment chambers, and I've started on the 2 metallurgical infusers. So on this second one, we have the pattern for the obsidian dust, and then we have the one for the refined obsidian dust back here. So I haven't put any upgrades in this machine, so now we should be able to try and request this, and we should be able to see it working. So let's go to refined obsidian dust. We'll do a stack of those. So that's going to use 8 enriched diamonds, which are already in the system, but as we know already, if it wasn't, it would craft those. And then we have 16 obsidian, so it's going to do all of that for us. So now that's going, we should be able to see this kicking in. So this is making the obsidian dust, and then it should export it into here along with the enriched diamond, which we did just see there. So that's all coming into here. It'll put the exact amount in here it needs to make the refined obsidian dust. So that's great, that is working, and I think this should be importing it as well. So yeah, it's not getting stuck in there, so that's going back. So now we are on the final stretch. All we need to do is set up the final recipe for the atomic alloy. The last thing we need to do is do one more test to see how many of the alloys we can make from 1 enriched obsidian. So let's get back up there, and we'll get a few of the alloys as well. I think it is only 2 with this one. I'm not sure, it's been a while, but I think it is only 2. So if we pick one of these that's empty, get rid of that, we'll put 1 in there, and that gives us 80. So if we put these in, I'm sure it's only 2, so let's just try that. Yep, that used all of that, so it's 2. So we can now use 2 of those, 1 of those will give 2 of those in a pattern. Right, so I think this should be the last thing we need to do. 2 of those in there, 1 in there, and then 2 of these. That'll give us our last processing pattern that we need to put in that metallurgical infuser. Okay, so we're going to take our final crafter and put that on there. And then here is where we put our pattern for the atomic alloy. Then that will put all the items into that chest. We then just need to use our configurator and change that to pull. Then we need to make sure on this side config that the back is set to the yellow one, and that is where the enriched diamond goes. And then the top is on input, that's by default anyway, so that's okay. And then the front needs to be changed to output, because that's where our importer is going to go. And do we have any of those? That's an importer, yeah. So that is now it. I think we've actually done it. So let's go give this a test, try and craft some atomic alloy, and we should be good to go. Right, so let's get rid of those, and we're going to craft. How am I going to craft? Because these are very expensive, these things. Let's do 10. That's just boring when we've got everything in there, isn't it? Right, I'm going to take everything out. Right, get rid of that. And the alloys as well. Let's get rid of those. I've got loads of these now. Right, so let's try that again. Atomic alloy. 10, and it's going to craft all of these things. No, it's got the diamond in there anyway. Oh, come on. Let's do a proper test. Right, this should be more interesting. Okay, 10 again. Try again. So now it's going to make all of this. It's going to make all the obsidian, all the enriched diamond, the enriched obsidian to create 10 atomic alloys. So it might be a little bit slow because I haven't put all the speed upgrades in the final ones just so we could see it. But we'll get this started and hopefully these should come in. So we can have a look over here, see what's going on. So this is making the enriched obsidian. And then back here, do we have anything in there yet? No, so that's probably making the things before it first. So yeah, I definitely need to get some upgrades in here, so let's get that done now. Right, I also haven't put an importer on the back of this one, so that was a bit of a mistake. So we need to make sure eject is on and the back is set to output. Right, that's going out now, so now this should be doing something. So yeah, we've got the obsidian and the reinforced alloy going into here, that's doing its thing. And we can put the upgrades in here, we'll get some speed upgrades as well. But that is now actually fully working, so that is brilliant. Okay, so if we just put the speed upgrades in there as well. And then now, once all of these go in, that'll be flying. Okay, so this is brilliant. This is all completely set up, fully automated, and I can just request these whenever I want. So I don't have to waste all my diamonds and have it all backing up anywhere, as I'm only at 294, but we will work on getting more diamonds, but for now, this is going to be great. So when I use an absolute ton of these alloys for all these crazy things that we're going to be getting into very soon, I can just request however many I want, and then this system will do it all for me. So that's absolutely brilliant. So with that, I think I'm going to leave it there. We've got a lot done today, and it's been a lot of fun. I did rush through the last part of this a little bit, so if you do want a tutorial, please let me know, and I'll get that done. If you've enjoyed this video, please do leave a like, and I'll see you again next time. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye-bye.